So I've made hundreds of edits with crazy camera movements and some with buttery smooth movements, but how? 2 years ago, I made a camera movement tutorial that reached 500,000 views, and since then, I've seen this method be used everywhere. But I still see editors making the same 2 mistakes that make their movements feel stiff and cheap. So before I break down this edit and show you the method in action, let me show you exactly what those mistakes are and how to fix them. Boy, if you don't... Mistake number 1, keyframes. You're putting way too many keyframes on one layer, which makes sense. Like, how else are you supposed to keep the movement going? Well, instead you want to use nulls. A null is basically a layer you can connect other layers to and control them. So let's say this first null has 2 keyframes creating one smooth movement. Instead of adding another set of keyframes to that same null, you can parent it to a new null, then create your next movement on that one. And here's the important part. Start the second movement before the first one completely stops. Now the movements overlap and flow into each other instead of moving, stopping, and moving again. And for this type of editing, that's what you want. Constant movement, guys, because those little dead spots are usually what makes your edits feel stiff and cheap. You're welcome. Now, the second mistake, graphs. You're either using the wrong graph or not using a graph at all. Your keyframes tell After Effects where the movement starts and ends. The graph controls how you get from one to the other. Also, how fast it starts, how fast it ends, and basically how smooth the entire movement feels. I made a whole video breaking down graphs, so I'm not going to get insanely deep into it because now I'm going to break down my actual edit and show you both of these things in action. And while we do that, I'm also going to answer some of the biggest questions you guys left on my original camera movement video. Okay, so before I start with the tutorial or whatnot, here's the edit.
So theoretically, I think the moral to the story is that, guys, if you create content, you do great shit, and you believe in yourself and you're creative, doesn't matter. You never know who's watching. Genuinely, you never know who knows who knows what. And with social media nowadays, shit just pop up on people's feed. So if you do cool shit, great shit, put it out. Don't worry about your followers or if you're getting 10 likes. If you're doing content and you believe in it, it's sick, and you have dreams, put it out. You never know where you're going to be 4 years from now.
Pretty cool, pretty inspirational, I know. I'm basically gonna be breaking down this scene right here. So first, let's set up the scene. Okay, so we're here. I basically built the UIs or whatever, which is 3 of them right here. They're separated in different colors. Technically, we can make this easier by just pre-composing each one, but you lose quality if you try and zoom in really closely. Now for this scene, as you can see, we don't really get closer than this. So technically it would still work. But what I like to do is just attach all these layers to one thing, which I'm attaching it to this profile picture thing. And now I can like move it. So technically it's being used like a null basically. So I'm going to do the same thing with the other layers, and now I'm gonna grab the main properties and set it to 40, and now basically we just move them where we want. They're kind of in the wrong order. It's all good. We're gonna put it like this, bring this one right here. And technically what we can even rotate these a little bit, so whenever we do the camera animation or whatever, it also moves and looks a little bit less stiff, if that makes sense. I know I'm working with a bunch of layers, but hopefully you're understanding what I'm doing. So here's what you gotta do. So you make a null, you can go to layer, new object, or press Ctrl Alt Shift Y, and you're gonna attach all your layers to that null. In this case, I have way too much layers, but like I did earlier is that I attached these layers to one layer. So now we have these profile picture layers that have none attached to it. Those are the ones we're gonna attach to the null. I know I basically just made it 10 times more complicated. I'm trying to have everyone follow along and understand this completely. So we're gonna go back everything, and I'm just gonna pre-compose them just to make it way easier to understand. I just realized I spelled this wrong. Subscribe. So boom, we have 3, I guess, images that we want to animate this to. So I'm still gonna make them small, and now I'm gonna put them like this. There you go. And now we make the null. Layer, new, null object. So now as you can see, we only have 3 layers to work with. So you're gonna have to highlight them. You can press on the top one, press shift, and then select the bottom one. So they all select, and then you're gonna grab this pick whip tool. It doesn't matter which one you do. I just like to do the top one, and you're gonna put it to the null. Once you do that, as you can see, they all get connected to the null. So we can even name this controller. I spelled that wrong. Now we can use this null to basically do the animation. So first thing I like to do is zoom into the first thing that I want to go to, which would be this. By the way, you want to use this right here instead of trying to drag this, because it's only going to drag that layer. So you try and put it in the middle. You can bring this proportional grid so you can kind of put it exactly in the middle. Okay, so now we press P and we go to the next thing, which would be up here. You can press shift and it goes faster, by the way. And boom, we did say that this one was going to be slightly rotated. So let's rotate a little bit. And now on this null, let's also do rotation. So it looks kind of cool. So it's going to look like that. It's going to start moving weird now because we're introducing rotation, but it's all good. And this is what it looks like. So now we want to highlight this, right click, keyframe assistant, easy ease, go to the graph editor, and we're going to do a graph just like this. So we highlight both of these and we make sure it's like in the center. And so now if you play it, it goes like this. I usually use the value graph, which I would make like a graph like this, but speed graph is okay. Anyway, so now we want to get to the third one, right? Which is over here. So instead of making another keyframe over here and you do this and you try and like, I guess, go to it. What you want to do instead is make another null, layer, new, null object, and then attach the old null controller and pick whip to the new null. So now with this new null, you can move it. And so now we want to go around right here before the animation even finishes. Position, rotation. Obviously, if you don't have rotation on your animation, and don't worry about this, but this could also be for scale, rotation, and position. Anyways, I'm going to press U so I can see both keyframes. We're going to go over here, and now we just move to the other one, which is over here, and it's slightly, there you go. So it feels kind of weird to rotate it like this, especially once you start adding more nulls on top of each other. It gets a little bit harder to control, but as long as you move it, it should be fine. And then basically add the graph to this one as well. And now if you play it, as you can see, now it's so smooth because the next animation is starting before this one even finishes. And now we can grab everything and turn on motion blur. By the way, one tip about motion blur is that if you add motion blur to your nulls, it absolutely does nothing. Motion blur only works on actual layers, as you can see. Yo, by the way, this edit ended up getting over 1 million views across my social media. And I actually recorded the entire process of making it from scratch. That full 4-hour breakdown is inside my one-on-one mentorship, where basically I help you improve your editing, grow your page, and start getting high-paying clients. So if you want to check that out, the link will be in the description. But now let's answer some of the biggest questions you guys left on this video. All right, so it's the next morning. What's good, y'all? I'm gonna do the Q&A. I'm gonna do the Q&A now. Naughty Juan search. This is the video that we're gonna look at the comments. So we have almost 500 comments. Let's check them out. Bro, my PC crashed. Brother, making multiple null layers is what was holding me back. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Please don't die anytime soon, Juan. I need to learn AE. Bro, you got 100K at the end of the year, 921. Feel free to subscribe. I'm really trying to hit that 100K by the end of the year. Hey, we're at 100K. Thank you, guys. This was honestly the best 3D camera movement tutorial I've watched. Thank you, truly. Thank you. Bro, where's the questions, though? This guy is fearless? No. Bro, I get this comment literally on every single video. I'm not fearless. Juan, ignore these negative comments. They don't know anything about it. You're doing great. Keep it up. Am I tripping or am I not seeing any negative comments? Can you explain better because I don't understand shit? You think I'm so into this app that even the most easy step can be simple for me, but it's not. So don't take anything for granted and maybe start thinking about every difficulties that someone can get through while editing this crap. Thank you and close your channel. What the heck? I think this video though, the one you're watching right now, I think this one's I guess oh my fucking god, y'all pissed me the fuck off. See Bayou. Yo, why are people just rude? Translate to English. Oh, never mind. Nice. New subscriptor. Motion blur configurations. I got y'all. Let me open up After Effects. Okay, we're here. Let's go to composition settings. We go to advanced and then here are my motion blur settings. I'm not sure if these are the defaults. I don't think it is. I think I moved it slightly. So yeah, feel free to copy. All right, back to the comments. When I love you so much, I was wondering why the fuck I can't use graphs on position. Ooh, this is a really good question actually. Okay, so let's make a little animation. Keyframe over here. We move it to the right. So if we play it, we got that. And now if we want to add a graph to position, right? We right click, keyframe assistant, easy ease. You go to the graph, but as you can see, you can't add the graph. This is weird. I don't know why it's like this. There's two things that you can do. Number one, you can right click, go to speed graph, and then you can use the speed graph, right? We can do like a middle graph like this, and now boom. Or you can go to this position right here, right click, separate dimensions, and if we go back to value graph, you should be able to add a graph. Now I don't know why it does that. It's low-key kind of annoying. Hey Juan, can you tell me why you don't use speed graph, why you choose value graph? Because I use speed graph, which gives me the same result. Okay, so good question. There's not like a big answer to this. They're both the same, to be honest, but I feel like I have more control if I'm using the value graph, because like I can do this. Sometimes I use this graph. Sometimes I use this graph. So I think maybe I'm tripping, but there's just more variations with graphs that you can do if you use the value graph. But with the speed graph, I mean, you can basically do like 90% of things. I know you can also like make this go up, which is like kind of similar what I just did with the value graph, but I just don't understand this just because I don't use speed graph. But if you're a beginner, then I would recommend you use the speed graph just because it's easier, and I think also easier to understand and easier to control. Like you basically just slide these, you know? The tutorial is amazing, but in the middle of this video, I feel like you can make this video shorter. Do you guys like shorter or longer videos? I think the people who don't know me prefer shorter videos because they want to get straight to the point. I don't know. Shoot, let me know in the comments. So what if you put the text layer in a comp? Can I still achieve the same effect? I really don't like too many layers in my timeline. Yes, basically like what I did in this video where I made a pre-comp of stuff and then I moved it. You know, we had a bunch of layers. The thing with pre-comps is that it acts like a screenshot. So let's say I have this thumbnail and let's say we scale it down here and then pre-compose it. Now it's almost like we screenshotted this. So if we try to scale it back up, as you can see, the quality now is bad. Why does this matter? Well, because sometimes you might have text, and text actually, like if you zoom in, it's super crisp. Look at that. You see? That's what you want. And sometimes let's say you do write your text and you pre-compose it and now you try to animate or whatever. And let's say you want to get closer to it. As you can see, now the edges aren't sharp anymore. So that's, I guess, one issue of pre-composing. Anyways, that's gonna wrap up the video. This is the 4th weekly upload. Yo, I'm low-key on the grind right now. If y'all want to continue these weekly uploads, show some love. It's free. Also, let me know if there's any other videos you guys want me to make. Drop them in the comments. Comment something. Let me know what you think about this video. Engage. Be a human. All right. I love y'all. Deuces.
You know what